Hello, hello.
Mm.
A little bit behind schedule, but better late than never. Welcome to a show with no name. Arturo,
What's up, man?
I don't know. Nothing happening today, man. So I don't know what we're gonna have to just fill the time, man. I don't know.
There's never anything going on anymore.
I know this is the most boring country.
Yeah.
This country, man, shoot. There's nothing happening around here.
Yeah, never.
So
Nothing.
here's an easy place to start. 2 words. Pam Bondi.
Oh
Take it
man.
away. Take it away.
Man, watching that was like, I don't know, like fingernails on a chalkboard. Like, Jesus.
Dude.
That was something. Like watching all of these government officials going through the ringer in Congress, in the House and the Senate. Man, they got pummeled, and rightfully so. Some things got heated. Like I don't know, man. Like today was pretty bad too, but yeah, Bondi,
So
man, she
I didn't
was
watch
supreme.
I didn't watch any of today.
Yeah,
But I some of the clips that I just couldn't do it. I watched for or listened actually for a few minutes yesterday. Shannon's got a lot more stamina than I do,
yeah,
but she's just got so much hate. I don't
man.
think she's really working with a soul, like in the way we think about it.
She's
I
definitely
just
not working with a full deck, as they say. But
well,
yeah,
I know
she
who
is.
she's working. I know who she's working for, and it
Yeah,
ain't us. You know the part that really got me though, and I guess as a woman, how you just dog out these women who've been through so much to where,
yeah,
dude, you're not even gonna look at them. Not even gonna look at them. I mean, come on.
yeah, yeah. It just, yeah, that struck me the most. Like she wouldn't even look at him. She didn't acknowledge him. And like, I don't know how you downplay. I don't know how anybody can, with any moral sense, even the least bit amount of moral sense, could downplay the Epstein files like that. And who's in
Mhm.
that? Like, I, I really don't care if the leftist of the lefties was in there. Fucking wood
I know.
chipper,
Well,
like wood chipper, bro. Like, come on.
dude, it's like I said to somebody earlier today that none of these Republicans would check her.
Yeah.
I actually got a clip. Let's see if I do this right. It's Joe Neguse, I think.
That man works for you now, right?
Who was that, Congressman?
The man in that video, the one who was.
Now, let me just say this. This is about a guy. He's questioning her about a guy who participated in January 6th that is now on her payroll. And
Yeah.
look how like pressed she is that or offended that she's even being asked about this. Like
Right.
it's perfectly normal to hire people who try to overthrow the government.
In the police worn body cam footage, the one allegedly yelling "kill him" at police officers on January 6th. His name is Jared Wise.
He does work for us.
He works for you at the Department of
he does.
Justice.
He does.
This is an individual whom a federal grand jury indicted for 2 felonies and 4 misdemeanors related to his participation in the attack on January 6th. One of those charges was forcibly assaulting, resisting, opposing, impeding, intimidating, and interfering with police with the intent to commit another felony. This is who you choose as the chief law enforcement officer of the United States of America to hire at the Department of Justice. Someone on video yelling "kill him" at police officers, right?
I believe he was pardoned by President Trump.
Oh, he was pardoned. You're right.
Dude.
You're right. Pardoned by President Trump for his offense. Pardoned for yelling "kill him" at police officers. And yet you expect hardworking police officers across the country to believe that you take law enforcement seriously. You could imagine the reaction of so many folks across the country hearing the chief law enforcement officer of the United States, refuse to even condemn what that individual whom you've now hired did.
You know, he was pardoned, which means he was convicted of all those things. You know what I mean?
Dude, it's just like she's acting like it's perfectly normal. What's your problem? He was pardoned.
Yeah, right.
Man,
It's
I'm
fine.
saying this is so freaking upside down to me. I can't figure out how I'm supposed to feel about it. I mean, it doesn't feel like getting mad is enough, because I have not seen an individual behave in this way. I mean, Trump he's just a piece of shit. We know how he's going to, but this woman was attorney general of a state in the union.
Yeah.
And she's acting like she's just down. It's crook, crime. What about it?
Yeah, right, right.
How dare you ask me about this guy? And that's, they got another guy that they're trying to, I think it's, like Undersecretary of State for, I don't know, immigrant. It's something, man. It's a Senate confirmed position, and the guy who they are trying to run through has just white supremacists all over the place. And I'm talking about, writing shit and posting shit on social media, and it's just, how you know what? I'm not even mad at Pam Bondi, because she's doing what they're letting her do. And she's doing what Trump sent her there to do. What really gets me, and I've said it before, dude, these people who keep, these Democrats that you'll see them on TV, and they'll be talking about, somebody will ask them, well, what are Republicans saying about all this behind the scenes? A lot of them tell me they're embarrassed and Trump this and Trump that. And, I don't want to hear that anymore.
Silence is complicity, man.
Dude, not one of those guys said anything to this lady. Not one person said, okay, you know what? Let's tone it. Jim Jordan, I don't expect nothing from him, but I'm talking about, what are there? 220 guys plus Jim Jordan. And none of them said anything, dude. None of them were like, well, you could at least answer the question. She's not answering any questions. Hank Johnson, yesterday, he said she was acting like Jekyll and Hyde. And she, and she said, what do you mean? And he said, well, you're Dr. Jekyll when you're talking to them. And you're Mr. Hyde when you're talking to us. What's up?
Yeah. I mean, dude, the whole thing was just really, really out there. And I'm like you, like, I don't even know how to react to some of this stuff, because it feels like a skit. Like, it feels, it's so dumb.
It's like a cold opening on Saturday Night Live.
It's hard to believe. It's hard to believe it's actually happening, like officially something, our government's doing right now. And
man,
it just blows me away at how
I have been in fights with my wife, and she ain't talking to me like that.
Yeah, right.
She ain't talking to me like Pam Bondi's talking to Jamie Raskin, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, this woman comes in there with negative respect for the place where she is. This is like 50 years from now, people will be able to look at how crazy she acted. I mean,
Yeah. Did you see?
Wait a minute. I saw this gigantic ring on her finger. It nearly blinded me on my phone. And I'm like, okay, I see. And, look, she had all kind of conflicts when she came into the job. She was lobbying for people that, had business before the government. And so I don't expect honesty, but golly, man, look, Trump did not invent criminals. Trump did not invent any of this shit. And cats used to know how to act when they came and talked to Congress, man. And it didn't mean they were honest, but they just played the game. This woman acts like they work for her.
And that's what's sinking them, right? They're outright incompetence. Like, they exposed all of the lies about Venezuela, all this BS about Cuba, all this BS about criminal migrants, all this stuff. And all these lies just end up just exposing themselves. And in response to those lies exposing themselves, they scream and yell at you when you point it out. It's
no, man. I'll tell you what I like. They got this move. If it was like, it's like a football move. It's a juke that they do. You ask a question about something, and they'll go, what about Joe Biden? What about? And it's like she started talking about the stock market yesterday, and I'm like, how is that even on your purview? I mean, where are you going with this?
You want to know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of the best little whorehouse in Texas. The dude who played the governor dancing the side. Ooh, I like to dance a little sidestep. That guy. Now you see me. Now you don't. Yeah, that guy. I'm coming.
Listen, man, it's out of control.
That's
really
this whole administration.
Okay, let me ask you this. What should Democrats do? I mean, you take a guy like Joe Neguse. I think he did the best he could with it. But, I mean, I understand we're in the minority. But what I don't hear, and I actually had a clip. I want you to think about this. And I don't understand what it just feels like there should be something that Democrats could do to make these folks pay. I know we got midterms and we want to take over, and if we make it that far, great. But right now, is there anything Democrats could be doing?
Yeah, politicking, like what they're doing in the Senate right now, trying to block DHS funding. They've got they got some R's on their side. They blocked it again today.
They did. They do.
And everybody's going into recess for till next week, I think. And DHS shuts down tomorrow, except for ICE. ICE remains operational because it has the $75 billion budget, but the rest of DHS is basically shutting down. So, and that's it. I mean, I don't think the Democrats' demands go far enough, in my opinion, but it's enough to withhold funding. It's enough to convince some Republicans to join your side. And at this point, anything that stops the process is a win. You don't see a lot of this on the House side, and that's what irritates me. There's almost this attitude of just let them wreck it, then we'll use that to win and fix it later.
And it's like, but then it'll be broke, guys. I mean, come on.
Right. So I don't see any coalition building trying to go and win 2 or 3 Republican votes, because most of the time that's all you need. And it seems like a much easier job than trying to get, a handful out of 100 senators to take your side. But in the Senate, they're pulling it off. You got to give credit to like Delia Ramirez, who, called everything what it is, in her Homeland Security hearing, at the Homeland Security hearing. And she ripped into, Noam and everybody. And, she pulled out the big guns about what ICE is today, where it came from, like, the history of trading in a Klan hood for a face mask.
Tell me about it.
She used those words, and that's what needs to happen, because those words are on the record. And when we look back in history, we'll get a sense of just how bad it was. Yeah, and I
don't think people really understand. Just how, especially as a person of color, as a Black person, how it comes off to us to see these guys. First of all, they don't look nothing like policemen.
No,
these guys look like Call of Duty, out of a video game, and got on more stuff than a person who's actually in the military would be wearing.
They're cosplaying.
Dude, suppressors. And what do you need that for? You going to knock on grandma's door. You need a suppressor and a big old, all this, come on.
And the thing that gets me too is, like, you know, you got these right wingers, right? Like there's this dude in my comments, because I'm streaming live to my YouTube too right now. I'm trying out StreamYard, you know, whatever. And some dude's saying, wow, you guys are brainwashed. And it's funny because
I got one word for all of them: evidence.
Yeah, right.
Evidence.
And what's funny is, you know, the government went too far in Waco. Look at what happened there, right? Those were conservatives. The Malheur, when the Pam Bondi, the Bundy family took over that wildlife refuge and the FBI shot that old man in the back. Yeah, they're going to come for you too. So if you think that we're brainwashed and we're paranoid and all these warehouses being built all over the country, what do you think they're going to do with those without when they're done with immigration? What do you think they're going to do when they're already coming at us for our speech and things we say? You think they're not going to come for conservatives? Because historically speaking, the feds come for conservatives more than they do anybody else. And this isn't about politics. It's about the Constitution. It's about our civil liberties. It's about our freedom.
Look, man, this
fuck
bill,
off with this brainwashed shit.
This bill at the end, you know, that basically that Democrats were trying to get part of what they were trying to negotiate on the shutdown. One of the things was no warrantless searches.
Right.
That's just the Fourth Amendment. That's
right.
I mean, how can you be against that? Republicans would not go along with it. You know, no masks. I don't know, maybe it's me, but 2 years ago, these guys are ready to overthrow the government over having to wear masks.
Yeah, and you know, the other thing is too, Republicans are being like they're being lobbied by like the Border Patrol Union and shit like that. The Border Patrol Union, despite how many Latinos are in there, is racist as hell, because Latinos can be racist as hell. And like if you see what the Border Patrol Union posts on social media, you'd be like, holy shit, how is this even an official organization? But that's who's advising the Republicans, right? They're like, no, we need to have the masks. No, we have to use without administrative warrants. We can't do our job. Blah, blah, blah. Come on now. The Constitution lays out your job clearly. And if you can't get a judicial warrant, you're not doing your job right, right?
Exactly. Or maybe you don't have any evidence.
Right. Right.
Maybe you just, you know, trying to pull some crazy shit. So look at this, man. I ran across this on social media, and it's kind of on topic. Earlier, I guess in the week, Rachel Maddow did a piece, and this guy kind of picks up on it and just does a little bit of math. Let's see if I can get him to work.
Hey, I'm going to amaze you.
In the existing prison camps they've got, Trump is already holding more than 73,000 people right now, which is a record. They want to build 16 new processing facilities and 7 new huge warehouse facility camps. If they build those, if they can build those 23 new facilities that they've said they want to build in these communities that I've been describing all over the country, if they can build those 23 new facilities, that'll give them the space to more than double the number of people they're holding in the camps.
So Rachel's report there got me thinking. These prison camps are privately owned. They're not government. They're private corporations owned. That report, and this is the good bit, also got me reaching for the calculator. A very quick Google search gave me the information that the United States government pays round about $165 per day per detainee. 73,000 of them. That equates $12,045,000 a day. 7 days in a week, $84,315,000 a week. 52 weeks in a year. Wait for this one. The Trump government is currently paying $4,384,380,000 a year to hold these people in these detention camps. They're all privately owned. This is not about immigration. This is not about deporting people out of the country. This is about holding them in the country, in these prison camps, $4,384,000,000 a year going to Donald Trump's friends.
That's exactly what it is.
This is what we've been. We both have been talking about this and writing
Right.
about it since right after the election.
Right.
And like the guy says, you don't, if you're just, you know, incarcerating people and trying to get them out of the country, you don't need all that infrastructure. You don't need all that. What
Yeah.
you need is more judges and more courts to just, keep it moving. I mean, think about it. For all this disruption that we've seen in the last year, he hasn't deported as many people as Obama or even Biden. And,
No, they're lying. They're lying about their numbers. Real quick, I want to clap back on this guy who said that all this is happening because illegals are killing Americans.
I know.
Undocumented immigrants killed 29 people last year. Cops killed 1,300. I don't know how many white people got killed and other. I mean, come on now. Let's be real. Shit happens everywhere. 29. No, y'all are buying into propaganda. Anyway, so what were we talking about? Because this dude pissed me off.
Don't let them get to you, man.
Yeah, no. So the prison thing,
because look, man, there is no talking to some of these folks. They will argue over what time it is and what day of the week it is, and
So like,
I tell them go with God, and
yeah, you and I have discussed about how how much money's in this for the prisons, the private prison industry. And
wait, I'm sorry. I got to go back on my word. This person is saying cops kill armed criminals, not innocent people.
Yeah, right, right.
This guy is like a half a click from being asked to leave.
Yeah.
All we ask for is like honest conversation and that kind of stuff. Come on. I mean, that's like, go read a book, man. Come on.
Anyway, so we've talked about how much there is in it for these prisons. We talked about how they intentionally hold migrants for as long as legally possible, and all of that. There's a profit motive behind all of it. A lot of these contracts that the government gives to these private prisons, they guarantee a minimum amount of beds to be filled in a lot of these facilities. So, just like we've seen with other private detention facilities for juveniles and for criminals, and we see judges, forcing people to be detained to help fulfill this contract. It's the same thing, right? They're packing them in places because they get paid per head, per person. ICE agents are getting paid per person.
Yeah.
This is all state sanctioned violence, and the fact that something like 90-something% aren't even criminals. The fact that 80% are people who are going through the process the right way with pending court cases and things like that. This is all just unconstitutional violence against Black and brown people, and it's state sanctioned because they're giving bonuses. Get me this many guys and you'll get this bonus. Pack this jail full and you'll get this bonus. And it's profiteering off of suffering. That's what this country does. We exploit and we profit off of it. That's what this country does.
One of the things too, and I've made the mistake of looking in the comments, and they're not all bad, but this idea that they're just the criminals or the people that they're after, they're picking people up at the courthouse. Who are trying to be heard.
Right, doing it the right way.
Come on. They haven't, these are not people that have been convicted of anything. These are people that, remember how we used to hear, well, we just want them to do it the right way. That's the right way. These guys are literally going to the courthouse where people are trying to, plead their case, whatever it may be. And then they come out and they get arrested.
Yeah.
What are you doing arresting 5-year-old kids? I mean, that's no art.
Right.
So anyway, I don't want to spend too much more time on that because it's a bad faith argument, but
it is.
I just didn't want to let it sit.
I feel you. Yeah, it's all bad faith arguments. It's all it's weaponized ignorance, and it's willful ignorance, right? You can sit here and give these goons facts until you're blue in the face, and it don't matter. They're just going to respond with name calling, with racial slurs, and with whatever. And you know, fuck them, dude. They want to be willfully ignorant. Let them, because at the end of the day, when society progresses, they'll be the ones left behind. They're going to die old and miserable, and we're all still going to be here. Black and brown people, we're still going to be here. We're going to be here, and they're going to be mad about it, and they're going to die mad about it. And I don't give a fuck. So,
Really, this is our show.
yeah.
No, I mean, look, though, it's just, I think it really, you know, if you take a step back, it really speaks to the place where we are. I saw, I almost said a kid. He's not a kid. I want to say he's run. I believe he's running for office down in Texas. Isaiah Morris, maybe.
Not sure. We're at Corpus Christi.
Hang on a second. I'm going to look him up because I actually he's doing one of these Jubilee things, and I swear, man, I could never do it. I really couldn't.
I did, yeah.
It is like the level of, you know, just non-recognition of just basic facts. You know, there was a guy he's talking to, and the guy pointed to, I'm trying to think of what Democrat he was talking. Oh, Ilhan Omar, saying that she had enriched herself. And so the cat is like, so are you saying that people shouldn't make money while they're in office? And he's got plenty to say. She's worth X now, and she was worth Y when she got there. So the guy says, well, what do you think about Trump? What about him? You know, he was a businessman. Yeah, and it's like, yeah, but dude, made like $5 billion in crypto, which is also the legislation he's pushing.
Right.
And, you know, this cat, it was like, it didn't mean anything to him. He said, well, you know, he's had to spend a lot of money defending himself. And I'm like, he wasn't president then, you know? And so, yeah, I think we've made the point.
Yeah.
It's just like, how do you get over? I mean, I guess I'm just sort of the mind that I want to be able to have a conversation based on facts. I'm just from a world, you know, when you're on a trading desk and a guy asks you about a stock, you can't say like the way you wish shit was. You have to say the way shit is. Okay.
Right.
And it is a conversation I have been unable to accomplish. And I've talked to, not so much now, but especially like, you know, after January 6th, a lot of people that I knew, you know, my God, I made a mistake. I'm not going to vote for this. And then we got to Kamala Harris, and she was the worst thing in the world.
Yeah. I think at the end,
guys, dude, I had a guy that I know who owned a business, and he would talk to me about how, you know, bless you. He talked to me about how bad things were under Biden. And I said, well, you own a business. Why are you voting for the tariff guy? And his answer was, well, I don't like tariffs. Well, okay, no shit. Nobody does, but he's going to, well, I just don't think he's going to do that. And I told you, I don't like tariffs. And now, I don't know. I mean, maybe he's out of business now.
Hey, who knows?
I mean, this was, you know, before the election, and he was complaining that he couldn't get people to work for him for what he wanted to pay, and his stuff that, you know, his inventory was too expensive. So maybe I should check on it.
Yeah, you know, I've had a lot of issues with that recently too, you know, where I try to have an honest discussion with somebody. It's been around Cuba lately. And, you know, I've done extensive work.
I've seen,
right?
I've seen your mentions, dude.
People are just like, they don't look at the data. They don't look at the facts. They don't try to challenge what they've been told to believe. And it's like, dude, just look at it. You know, they're like, oh, no sanctions. Sanctions is bullshit. And I'm like, bro, there's like literal legislation that a law that was passed to sanction Cuba, like you can't unsanction Cuba without more legislation. Like what the fuck? How the hell are you going to tell me there's no sanctions? But
It's a
yeah,
lot.
there's a lot of that. And like somebody said somebody in the comments said something about insider trading in Congress, and like basically it doesn't matter which party, everybody wants to end it. And that's true. I've seen a lot of like Republicans that many people would consider far right, out there screaming and yelling about insider trading, and like
somehow they just never can do it.
Right.
They just darn it, they want to, but they just can't freaking do it. And I'm here to tell you, dude, insider trading right now is probably the least of the worries, because the shit that for folks who don't know, I used to work on Wall Street. I used to run a trading desk. I was in finance. I started as a mortgage-backed security salesman back in the day in the early 80s. So I've seen some crime in like you wouldn't believe. But I ain't never seen anything like what these cats are doing. And what I'm talking about is just watch the Dow Jones Industrial Average. It is moving in ways, even during the housing crisis, I never saw. I mean, you go back to Liberation Day. What's that? April 4th, right?
Yeah.
That's when he announced the tariffs. Before the announcement, cats were already making money off of it, because Marjorie Taylor Greene, she was trading in front of the announcement, because none of us, we all knew that there were going to be tariffs. Nobody knew, except a few people, that it was going to be tariffs on the entire freaking world.
Right.
Remember,
right.
they were putting tariffs on islands that didn't have any people on them.
Yeah, penguins.
and so nobody knew that was going to happen except the people in the room. Marjorie Taylor Greene clocked it, and she made some money off of it, dumping stocks that were going to get hurt. I mean, you just don't have 20% swings in the Dow Jones Industrial Average in the course of like a few days.
Right.
You just don't have that. I mean, you do now.
I saw some people on X earlier freaking out about the price of gold and silver, and like how, like, I don't know, something like $1 trillion or $2 trillion worth of shit was lost over like a 5% downturn for both of them or something like that. I don't know. Well, I'm not a stock person, so I don't know.
Silver, Bitcoin, everything.
Yeah.
Man, we're going to look back on this day or this era, and it will be, I'll probably be long gone, but I'm here to tell you, it is going to be marked as one of the most corrupt eras in forget American history, world history, dude. I have not seen people just blatantly committing fraud. I mean, look, how can you let's just replace Trump with Obama. Let's say Obama, his kids have got a crypto coin business. Michelle is over here with a Michelle coin, like Melania. What Melania got a coin for? What is her coin?
Yeah. I got you. Yeah.
So you have to understand, there's no intrinsic value to these things. So just imagine, let's just say it's the Obamas. So they're doing all that. And at the same time, Obama is also pushing through cryptocurrency reform. Boy, let me tell you something.
Right.
They would physically have hauled his ass right out of the Oval Office. Do you hear me?
U.S. Marshals would have kicked the door down. Yeah.
I got one better for you. Tulsi Gabbard. There's this whistleblower that's been trying to, be heard.
Yeah.
And he can't even talk to Congress. They don't even want him. It's just too secret. Well, guess what? This afternoon, Wall Street Journal. Now, we don't know what the content of his complaint is, but you know what it's about? It's about an intercept by they intercepted some foreign nationals talking about Jared fucking Kushner.
Damn.
We don't know what it's about, but again, let's just use the Obamas. Okay. So Obama's president, and he's got his cousin is over here negotiating Ukraine and going to Russia all the time. Man, they already said Obama wasn't even from here. So I'm telling you, he'd have been out. He'd have totally out.
Yeah.
And and this guy, I have to tell you, he is made out of something that we haven't seen before. Because I've never seen a person who can just right in your fucking face commit crime. And folks want to argue with you over, well, what about something that's totally unrelated?
Right. It's always whataboutism.
Yeah, Biden did something. Look how stupid Hunter Biden's laptop conversations look now. You don't hear no more of them, do you?
Yeah. You know what? You know what's worse?
Talking about asked me one day, well, what about Hunter Biden's laptop? And I said, well, okay, what about it? He couldn't even tell me. Yeah. Well, he's out here enriching himself off of Joe Biden's name. Well, shit, he should have taken some lessons from Don and Eric, because god dang, man.
Yeah.
I mean, like, how silly does that sound now?
Right.
They're not talking about Hunter Biden anymore, are they?
No. And you know what's worse than Hunter Biden? The Epstein files. So, there you go. Yeah, I mean, come on. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about the emails. Nobody cares about the laptop. Nobody cares about the cocaine in the White House. Newsflash, everybody in DC does cocaine. There's no telling whose that was. It could have been a reporter. It could have been a cop. Could have been whoever.
It really could have.
Yeah, I mean, it's DC, man. It's like more drugs get done in DC than anywhere. I don't want to hear anything otherwise.
I wouldn't know.
But yeah, I mean, it's just it's some cocaine in a federal building, man. Like, what else is new? Like, imagine what it was like in the 80s,
I mean, man.
Yeah. So
straight Miami Vice,
Right. And like, again, we get back to this where they're just trying to like downplay everything in the Epstein files and blah, blah, blah. But like, I see people in Europe, sweating it. I see some law enforcement activity. I see people resigning. I see people getting in all kinds of shit. And like over here, we're like, there's not going to be any new charges. I assure you, some motherfuckers in there need to be charged. I mean, I don't give a damn if it's Bill Gates or Elon Musk or who the fuck ever. But if they did some shit, there needs to be some consequences. And this whole thing, was it Bondi that said if they released all the names, the whole system would collapse? Well, fucking A, let it collapse. You know what I mean? If it's built on that, we don't want it. You know what I mean?
Wait, I did not hear her say. She said what now?
Yeah, it was something along the lines of like if they released all the names, or if they prosecuted everybody in the files, it would collapse the system. And it's like, well, then fuck the system. And I'm pretty sure very good then. I'm pretty sure even MAGA would agree here that it's the wood chipper for every one of them. Like, we don't give a damn about political party. This is like the whole insider trading. This should transcend politics, culture, race. It should transcend fucking everything, borders, whatever. Because when it comes to this, like, the whole world wants these people to fry in the worst way possible, and they should. They should.
Someone made the comment, and it's a legit comment, that the Epstein files existed before Trump.
Yeah.
So why are we talking about this? I'll tell you. When I was working in New York, I'm sitting on the trading desk one day, and one of my traders starts. He didn't mention him by name, just this guy that and he starts talking about all the shit this guy's doing, and young girls and these parties, and I'm like, boy, I'm like, you're talking about Eyes Wide Shut, man. What are you talking about? I thought it was really just some made up shit, honestly. And he was talking about Epstein. And, he's like, this guy's got this book. It's got everybody's name in it. And one of these days, this, and I'm just like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, right.
But it was, I still know this guy. And he was talking about Epstein. I don't know how he knew, because he didn't have enough money to be doing nothing with these cats, right? But he just knew from the circles. And it was kind of, I put it this way, it was an open secret in the same way that everybody knew Trump was a crook. Everybody, when I worked in New York, like the for real estate cats, they didn't pay Trump any attention.
Right.
And so that's a
Right.
different story. But I'm just saying, so yes, the Epstein files existed. And yes, I mean, the
Well,
Obama
here's the thing.
Justice Department. Now, you may have more evidence than me. I really don't dig that deep into it. But
I
yeah,
don't
it's
either.
been around.
It's not my
Here's the
beat.
difference. Here's the difference. Trump ran on this shit.
He did.
He
did.
fed this QAnon crazy, pedophiles. The only problem was he was saying it was all Democrats. Remember in
QAnon was all
2016,
Democrats,
man,
right.
Democrats were eating children and drinking blood like
Yeah, I think
vampires.
QAnon was an op. Yeah.
Right. And so he fed this shit because that was his base. And so the reason that he's losing his base right now is because he ran on Epstein. Obama did not run on getting justice for the victims. Did Joe Biden? Could their departments, their DOJs have done more? I'm going to put it this way. When Obama took office, people were burying their money in the back fucking yard.
Yeah.
We were about to hit a depression. I'm going to say the Epstein files were probably way, 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 way down the list of shit that needs to get taken care of.
Here's the other thing too, because not only did Trump run on releasing the files, but it got to a point where Congress was so upset about it that aside from one person, they unanimously passed a law to release those files. So now there's a literal law that Trump signed into law that they're breaking by not releasing those files.
Well, and I just want to go back to it. This was a campaign promise of his.
Right.
So do not come to me talking about Obama and Biden. Yeah.
Right. No. And look,
I can think of 10 things that I wish they would have done that they didn't do that don't have anything to do with Epstein. But in this case, this is all these people were talking about for the last 10 years is this cabal of pedophiles and human traffickers, and come to find out it's them.
Yeah. And Biden obviously Biden knew, Trump knew in the first term. I'm assuming Obama knew, and probably some other, and everybody around them, right? In their hemisphere, everybody in their orbit probably knew something or another of these things. The thing is that nobody did anything. And at the end of the day, Republican or Democrat, it doesn't matter. It feels like whether they're on the list or not, they were protecting their funders, their backers. They were protecting people they do business with. They were protecting their friends. So maybe Obama's not in there. Maybe Joe Biden's not in there. We all know Bill Clinton is. You know what I'm saying? So even if they're not in the files, at some point in time, there's associations there. And everybody at this point knew, especially after Epstein's conviction. So this again,
when did Epstein get convicted?
He would
the first time, when he got the sweetheart deal.
Right. And then the second time he got charged with soliciting sex from a minor.
Okay.
Yeah, and that was 05. Was that 05? I think it was 05 because Lutnick was Lutnick was on his island in 2012. I was there with my kids. I didn't do anything. Yeah.
I said it, and I'll say it again.
It doesn't matter.
The guy took his kids to the island. What the fuck?
Right. And
what the hell was he thinking? That's not a mitigating factor. That's like, hey, dude,
you put your kids at risk. But
your nannies.
Lutnick is the perfect example of maybe he wasn't on the list in doing crimes and against children, but he knows the guy. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't actively trying to take him down. None of these people were. Nobody in power was. Not billionaires, not, because that's who the club is. Not lawmakers, not anybody. And it wasn't until Trump, like you said, Trump ran on it. Then he started reneging on it.
Nobody was thinking about this, honestly.
And then you have Marjorie Taylor Greene and
all
kinds of people turning against him.
It was the whole foundation of QAnon.
Right.
Which is how Marjorie Taylor Greene got in there in the first place.
Right.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll see what will happen. I noticed we got 10 minutes. I got one more. One more, video, and this one's for you.
Jeffries does not want to be the leader of the opposition party to fascism and authoritarianism in this country. What he wants to be is the leader of the Democratic Party. We don't have Democrats right now who want to oppose fascism. We have Democrats who want to wait for their turn to be in charge of the wheels of power. To use a Game of Thrones analogy, they're just waiting for their turn on the wheel. They don't want to break it.
And that what we said
My
earlier.
man Ellie Mustal spitting facts. What say you, Arturo?
I mean, he hit the nail on the head. You know, we've been seeing a lot of stuff. You know, that Hassan Piker kid, right? I say kid, he's mid-20s or whatever, big, bulky, hairy guy. Anyway, he you know, he's leftist or whatever. And somebody asked him if the ticket was, if it was Newsom versus J.D. Vance in the 2028 election, who would he vote for? He said, I'd vote third party. And people are freaking out on him, right? And it's, look, if that's the ticket in 2028, I don't blame anybody for voting third party.
It does not
you know what I mean? But
ticket.
we have 2.5 years, right? So, like, let's not sit here and try to pretend Gavin Newsom's our guy, because he's not. And I assure you, you know, most of this country probably feels this way.
Look, man,
He's
Garrett,
a good troll.
look, Gavin Newsom has several strikes against him in my
Several.
view.
Yeah.
Several. One of them is, okay, he has this podcast, and who's his first guest? Charlie Kirk. You know, and if that wasn't enough, next thing you know, I look up, there's Steve Bannon. What I have nothing to talk to Steve Bannon about. You know,
I don't care what Steve Bannon has to say.
I really don't. We know what kind. There's no what is the like middle of the road that I'm supposed to, you know, I'm supposed to meet him halfway. He wants to throw he said it. He wants to destroy the administrative state. So what is my point of negotiation? Where am I supposed to, like, well, maybe not the whole state, but okay, I'll go with you on half. I mean, what am I supposed to say to that guy? And then and the third strike with Gavin Newsom is, you know, his former wife. I mean, you know, what's her name? That used to be on Fox, and then she was I guess she was a fiance of one of the Trump kids. And I mean, bad judgment. Those are 3 strikes right there. Kimberly Guilfoyle. Yeah. So Guilfoyle, Steve Bannon, Charlie Kirk. I'm sorry. What's he doing? I don't know. Right. So I can't. We're not in a place right now where we got a guy. What would he do when he got in there? We have no idea, really. He's going to go whichever way the consultants and the wind is blowing. Okay. And like you said, we got, I guess, a year and a half now?
2.5, I think, something like that. Yeah.
Okay. So, whew.
I mean, there's a lot of people.
As a matter of fact, man, early voting, I think, started in North Carolina, or starts. I got a pop up on my phone about early voting. So primaries are just around the corner. So
our primaries are on the 3rd. So yeah.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about Texas, and then we'll wrap.
Ooh.
I know.
It's hot right now, bro.
I really look, man. I just threw you that softball.
Man, Texas is hot right now. So, like, I don't know. Surprisingly, you know, last week, Tallarico and Jasmine Crockett were basically in the dead heat with a lot of undecideds, both at 38%. The latest poll from U of H a couple days ago was on the news, and Jasmine Crockett jumped ahead by several points, and the undecideds number has gone down quite a bit. You know, there was a lot of this controversy around Tallarico with some, you know, racism tinged things here and there. There's all this debate about, or you have a lot of never Trump Republicans and centrist Democrats telling us we need a white man to win. They're ignoring the fact that the last time a white man ran, he lost to a Latino. So yeah, it just, there's a lot. It's getting tense. We do politics dirty here, so it's nothing new. But you know, the outside attention is really like wearing on Texans, like, you know, Tim Miller from the Bulwark. I think those guys are doing more
Wait,
harm than
what
good.
is Tim Miller doing with regard to Texas? It's pissing
Man,
people off.
he's trying to push Talarico. He's part of the whole "you need a white man to win" thing. He says James Carville's not a problematic guy, despite James Carville saying Obama should go smoke Doug Ford's crack pipe. You know, it's they're just so problematic. And instead of listening to people, especially the voters you need, Latinos and Black people, non-white voters, because we're a minority majority state, they're admonishing people. They're yelling at people. They're like, no, this, no, that, no, that's not blah, blah, blah. And it's like, dude, if people are offended, you need to stop and listen. And they're acting like the same dog whistle Republicans that existed before Trump. And, you know, they're doing that in Democrat spaces and liberal spaces, and Democrat voters are just not very happy with it. And I think that's showing up in the polling. I think they're sick of having, you know, national politicians telling Texans how to vote, what to do, how we need to win. Like, if you want to win in Texas, you need someone who's exciting. You need someone who's going to get people up to vote, to get through all this, you know, voter suppression stuff just to vote. And I'm sorry, you know, I like Talarico, but he's just not exciting. He's not the guy. He should have run for governor. He could beat Greg Abbott.
He looks like, you know, his carriage is a lot more indicative of that governor type of,
right,
you know, a politician. And what we really need is a firebrand. And
yeah,
you know, Texas politics, you're in it, but it just seems like it could have been so much different. Imagine him running for governor, right? I think, is it Joaquin Castro is he running for like attorney general?
No, I think Julian Castro was going to. I'm not sure. I don't think he is.
I mean, that was the talk, was they were going to have this slate that was just, you know, going to be stacked.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so you figure if they'd done the top to bottom, you know, just on the odds, some of those folks would have won. Right.
Yeah. And Democrats are, for the first time, and I don't even remember how long, for the first time in a long time, every seat in Texas is being contested. There's no,
wow.
and no uncontested elections going on this time around. So
which is weird against, you know, the guy that's the attorney general that's so sleazy.
Paxton.
Yeah.
Yeah. Isn't Paxton?
I can't believe that guy's running. He's
running for Senate, right? So it's him.
Oh, that's okay. What did he term out, or how's that working?
It's him, Wesley Hunt, and John Cornyn, I think, are vying on the Republican side. And, you know, they're both kind of going after the black guy, Wesley Hunt. Wesley Hunt, you know, he's kind of a tepid guy. Like, he's not an exciting dude. Like, he doesn't get voters going. And, you know, he missed a lot of votes in Congress. His record isn't so great. And, like, he just doesn't stand a chance. And right now I think he's just trying to be a spoiler. But what'll inevitably happen is on the Republican side, there's more than likely going to be a runoff because of Wesley Hunt. On the Democrat side, there won't be. There's only two candidates. But yeah, there'll probably be a runoff, and it'll probably be between Paxton and Cornyn on the Republican side. So you're looking at, you know, Talarico or Crockett up against a Paxton or a Cornyn. And, you know, I'm not so sure that Talarico can take on two dudes like that without, I mean, if you came at them hard, you could break them down, but I don't see Talarico being that guy, you know. I like, for example, when Beto was running against Cruz, if Beto came harder at Cruz, he probably could have swung some votes, you know, and he got close. I will give him that. He put in a lot of
what? He only lost by what? Just like 1% or 2%?
Yeah, right. And he went to every county in this state multiple times, talked to people in their communities, held town halls. Like, he did it right. The thing that killed him.
Is he running now? I mean,
no. He the thing that got him, though, and Texas couldn't get past it, was that phrase during the 2020 or the 2016 primaries, maybe, where he said, "Hell yeah, we're gonna get your guns." Never say that and try to run for office.
Oh
in Texas.
yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, had he never said those
like,
words,
well, it's been real. It's been nice.
Yeah, had he never said those words, he'd have won. He'd have won. But a lot of people, and rightfully so, in Texas, where everybody and their mother has like multiple guns.
Dude, yeah, Texas,
that's not
Arkansas, my home state. You
Yeah,
know,
I
you
mean-
got kids in diapers with a gun belt on, man. It's something. It's a different. I don't know, just a whole. When I moved from Arkansas to New York, I left my gun. I had a 12 gauge shotgun and all that kind of stuff, and I just gave it to my brothers. And because I didn't want to be driving cross country, stacked with weaponry. I mean, now
you almost had to.
I won't go anywhere without it. But
yeah.
I was thinking differently back then. But yeah, it was an adjustment when I came. Having lived in and around Manhattan. For a decade or, a little over a decade, and then coming back to North Carolina, and there's some cat maybe a mile from me, 6 o'clock every morning, pow, pow, pow.
Yeah.
I'm hearing some dude out in his backyard shooting a gun. Man, the first time I heard something like that, I was, what's happening? It's
like that's how it is when we go to East Texas, man. Like, ain't a lot to do out there, and frankly, it's kind of fun just to chill on the porch sometimes, way out, on a big piece of property. You can't really know neighbors, but off in the distance, starting at like 6 o'clock in the morning. It's like, yes, morning coffee.
I know. I love the sound of gunplay in the morning.
Yeah, right.
like
Some
the
apocalypse now.
Apocalypse now, right? Arturo,
and,
man,
and,
it's always fun to catch up with you, and I mean, it's just going to get, I don't want to say exciting, but it's going to get worse, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
I mean, I feel like, I'm glad to hear that people are moving, like ICE is allegedly, sort of scaling down in Minnesota, but that just means they're going to pop up somewhere else.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the closer we get, all these swing states better look out, because here they come.
Yeah.
Because that's his strategy for tipping the midterms. And so I know we're probably not going to have anything to talk about next week, but
yeah, there's never anything happening.
Another boring week.
Yeah.
Well, hey man, I think that maybe we should get out and get ready for Valentine's Day, because I'm not going to do my shopping not tomorrow. That's Friday the 13th.
Yeah. No, my wife's out of town, so I gotta wait till she gets back, and then I'm gonna take her.
My wife is like 5 feet away from me, so I have no comment.
Nah, I'm gonna take her to lunch on Saturday, and that's gonna probably be about it.
Hey, that's a good plan. Well, man, hey, it's always fun. Folks, if you enjoy the show, like, subscribe, follow. You can actually catch our long form, publications on Substack. And let me just put that up. That's how you can, subscribe, follow Arturo and myself. And, we appreciate you showing up and listening to our pontifications, and hopefully, you learn something new. And we try to do this every Thursday at 6 Eastern. So, check us out next week. Follow us in the meantime. And, we'll see you then.
All right, guys.
Take care.